Thought it might be interesting to share something with you. I haven't done much fishing lately, but as a lot of you know, I do a lot of collecting antique fishing lures and rods and reels and things like that. And one of my buddies, Jeff Sykes, stopped by yesterday while I was at work and dropped off this antique tackle box and some old paperwork. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. I thought we'd just do an unboxing video and I could share it with you as I see it for the first time. I'll start out by saying that I'm certainly not an expert at identifying things or assigning values to them, and I don't have any intention of selling anything here. I'm just kind of looking forward to opening this time capsule and seeing what's inside. So let's start with the paperwork and see what we got. First of all, this is a 1963 edition of Nautical Chart Symbols and Abbreviations. Well, they're probably just as good today as they were in 1963. I don't know, maybe something changed along the line. Pretty cool. Nautical Chart, Chesapeake Bay, Eastern Bay, and South River, Maryland. 1964. Very cool. I like the old maps. That's you can learn a lot just by looking at the maps. See how things have changed, see what's eroded away. Sometimes you can find under structure that has now gone underwater that was above the water before. Here's one for the Potomac River, also 1964. So recreational boating guide, let's see what year that is. 63. I'm seeing a theme here with the paperwork. 1962 rules of the road. Let's look at that in a minute. Let's see what we got here. Oh, these are more nautical charts, I think. Yeah, that's what it is. I'll look through all those, but this is fantastic. It's a 1962 Pfluger catalog. The reason I like these old catalogs is they can really help you in dating old fishing equipment, like reels. Look at that. Really cool. Those reels were new in 63. Pfluger was making good equipment back then. Lots of information on reels. There's some good info on fly reels. We're getting into saltwater stuff. Reel repair stuff. And then here's our lures. I really like the old lures. Rods, reels. And at the end, here's some information about sales reps. Might be somebody's father or grandfather there. This was sent to McDowell Brothers Incorporated in Washington, D.C. Now that's interesting. That may be a clue. All right, moving on to the tackle box. So the first thing I'm noticing is that this is an old wooden box. You see these sometimes, and they were actually mass produced, although I'm not sure that this one isn't homemade. You might notice that I've got another one over here that belonged to my wife's grandfather. That's another video altogether right there. But looks like brass hardware. I don't see any markings anywhere showing me that it's not homemade. Let's look at the work. Those are rabbit joints. I bet this is a homemade box. Pretty cool. All right, let's move it over here onto the light and open it up. Nice brass hardware. Well, first thing I notice is he must have been a shark fisherman. At least he was going after some big game, because there are some seriously big hooks in there. Look at that. Let's move this aside and take a look at this. I love the old lures, especially when they're in the box. Now, if you followed any of my writing on my website, ChesapeakeLightDackle.com, or watched any of my Chesapeake Minute videos, you've heard me talk about this lure. That's a Hawaiian Wiggler. These were made by Fred Arbogast in Akron, Ohio. They had rubber skirts, and the skirts never last. But I don't think this lure's ever been used. No, I take it back. It's been tied on, now there's a knot. It hasn't been used much. Pretty cool. I'll set that aside because I see another good one. Jitterbug. Another arbor lure. And judging by the box, I'm going to say mid-20th century, but maybe earlier. Let's open it up. Aha! Well, I was a little off on the dating. If you've seen these lures before, and this one's pretty well used, you've probably noticed that almost all of them have a metal lip. This one, on the other hand, has a plastic lip. Now, you might think that means it's newer, but it's just the opposite. They made plastic lips only during World War II because they needed the metal for the war effort, and so they put plastic lips on their lures. So that dates this, what, 1939 to 1944 or 45 or so. Very cool. And in the box, that's a nice lure. Very collectible lure right there. Let's move on and see what's in the box. First of all, this. I don't know what this is. Unbreakable. Malleable iron. It's spring loaded. Maybe some kind of rod holder? I don't know. If you know what this is, let me know. Moving on. Look at the drone spoons. J.B. Huntington drone spoons, patent 1923. Those are also probably mid to early 20th century. There's a Fluger. Very cool stuff. Lots of sinkers, some other hardware in there. Look at this. That's for oiling a reel, and I've seen these before. Let me set my camera down so I can show you this. Cool little reel oiler. So this top just unscrews, and there's your nozzle so you can get to your reel. And look at this on the top. It's got a little pin there which keeps the nozzle clean. There's still some oil in there. And get it back together. The eyesight's not what it once was. There's some information on the bottom there. Made in USA, patented April 1907. That's pretty cool. Here's a metal split shot case. You like the Fluger stuff. Very nice. I see these in antique shops sometimes. Here's some oil for the little oil can we just saw. Real oil. This is also made by Fluger. Speedy. Sometimes they made this oil out of fish oil. I don't know if this is or not, but some of the early real oils were made out of fish oil. Another spoon. Look at that hardware. Check this out. Obviously a little adjustable wrench for working on reels. Let's see. Red Devil. Made in USA, still in perfectly good working condition. Very nice. I don't know what that is. It's leather. Some more tools for working on reels. Little screwdriver. That's a reel handle and a pocket knife. Maybe a charade. Let's see. See if we can read it. Walden Knife Company. I don't know too much about knives, but it's probably Walden, New York. Tips broke. I bet that's a pretty old knife. There's a model number. I'll have to look that up. 1623E. Walden Knife Company 1623E. Let's look that up. So let's see what else we got here. Oh. I'm liking what I see. First of all, this guy, I think he was a shark fisherman. That would explain the big hooks. And a fighting belt. It looks like it's well used. Oh my goodness. And there's a wire leader with a hook on it. I think that's a surf fishing, a shark rig for surf fishing. Kind of like a fish finder rig. You would put your main line here and also attach a sinker back there, and then this would lead down to your bait with the cork there just to float it up off the bottom a little bit. Great big old hook on there. That doesn't look like he was all ways after big game. There's another hula popper and some little fly casting poppers. Some little split shot. This is probably the newest thing in there. I don't know what it was. I guess it was fishing line, 200 yards of fishing line. Don't know how old that is. There's some snailed hooks ready to go. The reel on there tell you a little bit about that pack of snailed hooks. Been around for a while. I'm saying mid-60s. There's some more stainless steel wire down there. Another rig, another fish finder rig. But what's catching my interest? Well, first of all, let's look at this. That's braided line before monofilament. That's not silk line. It's actually nylon. Well, it says right on there, braided of DuPont nylon, Norwich Line Company. Pretty interesting. 15-pound test. All right, let's look at the reel. Looking forward to this part. Pfluger Akron, 1893. Scarlet jeweled, quadruple multiplying, polished diamond light. So I do know a little bit about these Pfluger 1893 reels. The Akron line started in 1920s, 1922, 23, something like that. And they made them on up into late 60s, maybe even early 70s. Pretty good box. Let's take a look. Well, that's different. That's not the right reel for the box. What we have here is a Shakespeare True Blue reel with blue handles. There's the same braided line that we just saw before. So apparently he was using this for his lighter stuff, maybe casting those spoons. So I don't know too much about this reel. I do know that they're pretty common and they're not very valuable, especially in the wrong box. It's interesting though, with Shakespeare reels, you can tell the first year the reel was made by the model number, and there's a code. Basically what they did is just put the year numbers 1 through 10 on one line, and then wrote the alphabet backwards underneath it, and you can figure out the age of the reel when it first came into existence. Anyway, I believe at HD. That's I have to look it up. Probably 1939 or so. So we've got some paperwork in the box that matches the real box. It doesn't match the reel. In this case, the real box is worth more than the reel. That reel, $5 or so in antique shop or on eBay, but that box might go for $20 or so. Not that I'll be selling anything. This is just too cool to let go. But well, let's see what we have in this this box. So this is a model 1989 Fluger Capital. That's surf casting reel. These were cool reels. They were made from the 1930s up until 1960 or so, and let's see if that's what's in the box. You never know. And it looks like it is. Yes, sir. That's it. A hard plastic handle, and the push button up here tells me it's a little later, probably mid-50s Bakelite on this side, stainless steel on this side. They would have called that nickel, I guess. That's the most valuable thing I've seen in this box. This reel with the box, and it looks like it has the paperwork. Oh yeah, look at that, even some extra drag washers, and probably worth $100 or so. Very nice. Like I say, I won't be selling any of this stuff. It's just interesting to look at. Kind of a little time capsule there. This taking us back to the middle of the 20th century and even a little earlier. I'm looking forward to sharing this with Jeff and talking about the equipment, see what he remembers of it. Especially all that shark fishing gear. So that's it. That was fun. A lot of interesting stuff there. Can't wait to look through this catalog. Very cool. Thanks, Jeff.